Think about what you did.
Nobody makes it to the end of these things. Come on.
The Broken Agenda Podcast. Sponsored by Laughing Rock Technology.
You ever have, just speaking of like waking up, have you ever had this experience, Jimmy, where like you get woken up and you look at your phone or you look at whatever and you can't read?
Like the words don't make sense, or
Like the letters are like jumbled. They don't make, like, you're looking at it and like numbers don't look like numbers. They probably look fine, but your brain is not capable of figuring out what that means, like that number or that letter or that.
I don't know if I've had that problem yet.
No?
I don't think so. I mean, I do math in my sleep, so.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
ever
literally.
recall that happening.
Oh, I
Like almost like a dyslexia kind of thing?
Yeah, I kind of assumed this was normal. Apparently this is not normal.
No, I feel like that's one of the first signs of dementia.
Oh, I'm getting dementia. I'm gonna get it hard. It's gonna be awesome. I mean, not for everybody else. For me,
Maybe you're just a late bloomer for dyslexia.
I don't know. I haven't had it recently. I used to have it all the time, but I also used to only get like 4 hours of sleep. So I feel like I was constantly exhausted, and my brain just couldn't adjust to the waking world.
Yeah.
But okay, well, never mind. You guys didn't have that experience, so we won't talk about that.
Imagine going through life with dyslexia. Like one of the guys Dean Graciosi dude, he had dyslexia. So he went through school and never told anybody. No one ever knew that he couldn't like read because of dyslexia. Can you imagine that?
I had a really good buddy who was dyslexic. Met him in college. He barely got in. They figured out he had dyslexia, taught him how to deal with it. Turns out he was a genius.
Damn.
Guy ended up, I think, going to med school.
Holy shit.
But he snuck in with like minimal, GPA and everything else. Yeah, he just knew he couldn't read.
To be able to conquer learning with that,
Yeah.
that's pretty.
That's kind of awesome. Oh, by the way,
Another level.
I'm drinking Diet Pepsi.
Okay.
I realized that there was too much alcohol during the holiday season. And
You're
and
fasting.
that's fine. It happens. I'm just taking a little break. Here's the embarrassing part. I realized last night as I was laying in bed, I have a birthday party for a couple of my buddies. I have like 4 buddies that all have birthdays in early January. And I was laying in bed coming up with excuses for why I couldn't drink at the birthday party. And this seemed perfectly natural to me. I'm like, I don't know, maybe I've got a life insurance exam. I have to be ready for it. I can't have alcohol in my system. No. They're going to wonder what policy. They're going to ask questions about it. Maybe just a regular physical. And I'm going through this in my head, like thinking about, like openly just lying to my friends. And then it occurred to me that how sick is that? Due to my relationship with my friends, I have to lie to them to not drink. Like I have to make up a story. Like with my wife, I have to lie about my drinking. With my friends, I have to lie about my not drinking. I was like, maybe I'll just tell them I'm not drinking. Maybe this isn't a healthy attitude.
Maybe you need new friends.
You bite your tongue. They're great friends. They're just drunks. It's fine. We've all got problems. One of them may be a serial killer, but they're fine. They're good people. So guys, I'm glad we're back from break. I know it was an unusually large break, so whatever. I hope you have stowed up energy for talking about useless baloney. But I love our topic for this show, and I think a lot of people, I was asking around before we decided to record this topic. I don't think anybody knows what this is. And what we're talking about today is ChatGPT. Mm-hmm. So anybody that isn't aware of what ChatGPT is it's essentially an AI chat program. That's really all it is. It's designed to mimic humans in chat form.
Yep.
So now it can theoretically do voice and everything else, but its primary function is writing whatever you want it to write. So I've been tracking this. Have you been following this for a while?
I just literally found this yesterday.
Okay.
I just started reading into it. I don't even know what I was looking at that I found it, and then you.
And then
I
was
was
like,
odd that you wanted to do a topic on it, but
we're
I'm
syncing up.
I'm only a day old here.
It's
with this.
You're a day ahead of everybody else. I mean, I couldn't find a single person who even knew what this was, that wasn't like involved with it, or
Yeah.
I don't know. Like you weren't.
No, I've heard about it in passing, but never really spent any time digging into it.
Well, I found out about this, and I like the OpenAI stuff. I really do. I think the OpenAI projects are neat. And if there's going to be an AI that kills us, I want it to be open. But I really got into this when Elon Musk brought it up. So he just, I think it was like an 8-word tweet or something like that. But he just said, man, ChatGPT is crazy. It was like all he wrote. And I was like, what is Elon talking about? And I started digging into it. This thing terrifies me. And I think we need to get into why, but should we do like a demo before we start getting into the whys and the whos and the whats and the ifs?
Yeah, we can.
I mean, all right, so if you're watching...
Think about what you did.
Nobody makes it to the end. And we're going to have this thing do some stuff for us and just see how well it does. So I mean, the big thing, I've played with this a few times, and I've had it write blog posts for me. I've had it write, letters to people for me. I've had it do all sorts of different stuff. It is uncanny. Do you have a suggestion to start with?
I put a few things into it just to see how it would respond.
Well, what do you want to start with? Like, Jim, do you have any ideas?
Yeah.
I was actually just create an outline for forming a DAO. I was doing
A decentralized
autonomous
organization. All right, fine. Let's do that. Give us an outline for forming a DAO.
What is it?
DAW. Or DAO. Sorry.
Should bring it up.
DAO. Is that what you put?
DAO.
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 Yeah.
A DAO. Hey,
Decentralized.
let's see what it says.
You're going to need to change that. I don't.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if it figures it out.
Yeah, let's see what
No, that's a dish with lentils. That is not it. That is a very different
Indian
thing.
dish made with lentils.
Hey,
let's start here.
It's now I kind of want lentils. Damn it! I'm hungry for lentils now. DAO, decentralized autonomous organization.
Decentral.
DAO.
I don't know why this is so hard. I don't know. Got it.
DAO.
No L's. There's just DAO.
DAO.
Decentralized autonomous organization. DAO.
All right, there we go.
All right, so let's see what it says. So this is real time. Sure. Here's a suggested outline for a DAO, decentralized autonomous organization. Introduction. Definition of a DAO, the benefits of a DAO, structure of a DAO, governance. It's putting these in bullet points. So it's creating an actual outline. It's actually bolding stuff. Functionality of a DAO, operations and activities, funding and research and allocation, rewards and incentives, case studies, successful DAOs, lessons.
Not crazy.
What'd that take? 10 seconds?
Yeah.
10 seconds. It is a 6-point general outline of a DAO with an introduction, a structure, a functionality, conclusion, economic. All right, let's give it a little bit more of a challenge. All right, so that was a little generic. Mm-hmm. Let's make it be creative. So how about can we ask us? Can it write a song? Ask it to write me a song about love.
Oh boy.
Let's hope it's G-rated. I don't want to read. All right, so here it's right. Verse 1. I've been searching for someone to fill this empty space. I've been reaching for something to put a smile on my face. Oh, here's the chorus. Because love is all I need to make my life complete. Love is all I want. It's the only thing that's on my mind. Verse 2. It's writing this faster than I can read it. And quite honestly, this is better than nearly all John Mayer lyrics.
I feel like we should get
I wonder
auto-tune.
if this is grabbing a song and
I'm gonna
or if it's
search.
creating
Why don't
a
it-
Google graph.
That's a great idea. Let's search and see if this...
Once all the lyrics are out, search the lyrics and see. If
It wrote an entire song.
Let's grab
All
the
right, so we're going to
bridge.
grab the bridge, and let's just run it and see if anybody's... And the first result is 5 stages of grief after facing a loss. It's not bringing up a song.
Yeah. I see. That's probably not a good way, but nope.
Yeah, it's definitely not the same song.
Different one. Yep.
It's an original song. It just wrote an original song.
So I think we should get auto tune and record this because we could have the next
I
pop
think so.
hit.
Okay, so here's the thing. So all right, so already
Tell to write the drum.
music.
Yeah, write the music.
Music is affected. Like you're a musician and you're looking for lyrics, and you just tell this thing to write lyrics for you, and your job's over. All right, let's do this.
Ask it to write music for a drum track for this song.
All right, let's try that. Can it write music? Write music for a drum track?
Yeah.
Just for a drum track. Not for this song, just for any song. Let's see what it does.
Here, let me do it. Let me word it differently.
Sure. Here's some music for a drum track in 4/4 time. All right. I don't think that's going to work. It just says dum 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 dum. Now I think it's just screwing with me. All right.
Dum,
But I
dum.
mean, even still, that's
This
pretty.
is wow.
I mean, it is 4/4.
Is it
The
like,
chorus, dum 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 dum. All right, this is a little dumb. Can you cancel it?
I think I have to just delete the whole thing.
I'll let it finish its thing.
is it mocking us?
It is mocking us. It knows what we're doing. It's on to us. It doesn't want people to think it's that capable. All right, so here's the next one I want you to search. So we already found out that it clearly has implications to the music industry. I want you to ask it to write me a 1-page term paper on the rise of Rome.
1 page.
Now, this is not planned. I didn't do this yet. I don't know what this is going to do. Is it? Oh,
I gotta wait till it's done.
there's an outro.
It's the outro now, so we're good.
Dum dum dum.
It's just writing dum dum dum.
I get, well, it's like dum 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 dum.
Did it get stuck on the last dums? It did.
Dum 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 dum.
Okay, so maybe the musicians are safe. It's just the lyrics writers, so that's fine. All right, let's see. Now, this is what I'm looking at here. Is I'm thinking, the rise of Rome is fascinating and complex topic that has captured the imagination of historians and scholars for centuries. From a small city-state in central Italy, Rome rose to become one of the most powerful empires in human history, spanning 3 continents and lasting for over 1,000 years. There are many factors that contribute to the rise of Rome, including its strategic location, strong military, efficient government, and diverse culture. One key factor in Rome's. If I was in high school, I would never write. If I was in college,
What's you pick term paper, but somebody's already developed software to identify if something was written by Open or the ChatGPT.
yeah, will it once this gets good enough?
I don't know. So
Because I
that's-
got to be honest, at this point, that sounds like any term paper voice I have ever read, and this thing is still in beta phase. Like by
Yeah.
the time this thing is done, it will be indistinguishable, at least in chat form, from a human. I mean, look at that term. I
Yeah,
could
I mean,
take
it's
that
good.
and submit it to a teacher, and I guarantee you she'll take it or he'll take it, and that's an A. It's got an opening. It's got research. I mean, the way this thing works is it literally is gobbling up all content on the internet. It has access to every single thing that Google has access to, and it is compiling it, and then it is comparing that with things that have been written by humans for voice and texture and text and context and everything else, and then it is merging the information with context and voice, which is literally what our brain does. It's what we do when we write something. We do research, we give it our voice, we give it context, and we put it on paper.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a 1-page term paper that's an easy A.
Yeah.
And I don't see anything in that makes me think. I mean, can you copy and paste that, and we'll put this in with the description of the episode?
What was the program that you just had up, Tyler?
The program.
That was detecting.
Yeah,
So there was
that's
an
the
AI
one
program
that
that
the
detects
Princeton student.
Let's run this and see if it detects
I don't know
it
if we can.
as written by AI.
I don't think we have access to the program, do we?
I don't know. A new app can detect written by ChatGPT.
But I mean, right? I mean, that's not. I guess, is that even plagiarism? I mean, you didn't write it, but nobody else did either.
I would feel like in
Man, how could you
academia they
prove that?
would flag that as plagiarism because you are not writing the idea. It's basically taking paragraphs from Wikipedia.
But it's not. It's
I mean,
not.
it's not, but it is.
I mean, it's
It'd be like-
definitely cheating.
Well, yeah, it'd be kind of like me saying, write my paper for
Yes,
me.
I think it's more like that.
That's
like having
which
somebody
is, I think, still technically plagiarism because it's me submitting something with my name that was written by somebody else.
All right, fair enough.
I think. I mean, I don't know.
No, you make a solid case. It seems almost like you have a lot of experience with plagiarism.
No, I've never
It's-
plagiarized
Oh,
anything.
fair enough. Now, the extent of my cheating was one time I wrote all the likely answers to a test on a piece of paper that was the same size as my foot and put it under my shoe so I could slowly slide my shoe back and look at it. I was so stressed out. I almost had a heart attack taking that test. And then I couldn't figure out how to leave. Because how do you walk away? Like, there's a sheet of paper on the floor. Like, I had absolutely created a trap for myself. So everybody's leaving, and I'm still sitting there, like, sweating, buckets just coming down, making a ring. I got moobs. And I think I got away with it, and I was like, I'm never cheating. I'll just study. This is horrible. This is the worst thing ever. Oh, and then we all had TI-85 calculators. I mean, but the cheating never worked in those because no matter what you put in them, it was never what was on the test. Like it never helped.
See, I had a professor who used to check your TI-85 before your exams. He would go through them and make sure you didn't have anything saved.
Oh, see, I wrote a program where it was a math program where if you went in and put in your formula, I was such a nerd. Like maybe I made like Tyler, your formula is 8 times 5. So all you have to do is go in and it would say what if you put in like 3 times 4, it would divert to the calculator and give you an answer. But if you put in 8 times 5, it would open up the file that had all your cheat notes. So all he would find was a calculator program that was installed on there that was written. But if you put in your formula, it would go to all this information would come up. And I wrote that for other people. I didn't use it, but I that's why I own an IT company. I like doing that stuff. It was a lot easier back then too.
Wow.
It wasn't that hard a program either.
It doesn't sound that hard, but I wouldn't have ever thought of that.
That was my plan.
I mean, that's
Was
good.
it like a HTML or something? Like, what did you write it in?
No. It was basically in command prompt.
Oh.
It was like I think it was C. Was it C? Is that what you?
I don't
remember what I
never
coded
took
on
that
that.
class. I know that was a class they had in high school, I think.
I think you coded on the TI and C though. I think that's what you used to code in that. I don't remember. It's been it was like 30 years, maybe more. All I know is I sold that to people for $5.
Easy money.
$5. That's and for a guy who used to save my extra because lunch was $1.95. I saved every nickel because every tasty cakes were 50 cents. So every 10 days, I got a tasty cake. So considering I saved every nickel to get that tasty cake, $5. That was the rich stuff, guys. That was Goonies level wealth. That was amazing. So, all right. So we can't check this thing, but I mean, so colleges are hosed. I mean, unless you're going to check every single paper ever submitted. I mean, I can't imagine the internet has information on anything they would ask you. I can't imagine it can't write something for just about any topic.
Wouldn't you think, 'cause I think in the college, and I don't know because I didn't have this, but I think a lot of papers now are submitted through a program that checks for plagiarism. Wouldn't you think they build something like this, run up?
Well, they're going to try, but it's checking plagiarism, which means it's cross-referencing phrases within that document against the internet to see if those phrases are pre-existing, then seeing if it's the same document.
Yeah.
But this isn't doing that. This isn't even taking phrases from existing locations. It's taking the actual content and giving it voice. So there won't be any overlap theoretically anywhere in the internet. It's creating a truly original version of the content you want.
Well, let's try something. Try to ask it to write the same paper again, use the exact verbiage, and see if it duplicates what it wrote already, or see if it comes up with something totally different.
Okay.
So wait,
You
take
copied that?
this exact question?
Yeah.
So ask the exact same question again.
And then, like, so what I think ultimately is going to end up happening is everybody will submit their papers, right? There'll be documents, digital documents, and then they'll probably take programs like this and they'll put in general requests and see, and then they'll have like maybe, I don't know, maybe they have a variation of 20 requests that they put into this program, have it spit out papers, and then instead of the teacher reading those papers, they'll upload through the program, and the program will auto-correct everything, compare it to the papers that were written through here.
Well, let's see.
If there's a
Let's run it.
duplicate.
Let's see if this is the same thing.
That's the only thing they can do. They're going to
It's-
have to combat AI with AI.
I mean, it's going to have to be. AI is going to have to fight AI, but I don't know if this thing gets good enough. I don't know how an AI would even know. I mean, because at a certain point, when there's so many overlaps with actual human writing, I mean, the false positives are going to go through the roof. I mean, this isn't like the autofill feature of 5 years ago or 10 years ago, where it was clearly, being filled in by a computer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is. Go ahead, run it. Let's see. It looks like I wrote the exact same thing. Oh, Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy, you might have beaten the system. So if everybody's doing the same paper, it's a little bit different. But I'll tell you what, if you were accepting 20 papers on the rise of Rome, it's pretty similar.
No, it's
It's a little different. Actually, it looks like it's getting more different as it goes.
Key factor runs rise. This is location. Situated. I think it's pretty much the same.
It's pretty much the same, yeah. So that could be a thing.
Military.
So in high school, that could be an issue because a lot of times you're writing the same paper as everybody else. In college, it's probably going to be a lot harder because
Yeah, like what you'll need to do is you'll have to request like paragraphs. Like maybe you do your research and then you pick out all the topics you want to talk about and then you ask it to write you a paragraph.
I don't know.
Topic.
My concern is once this thing gets really good, it'll probably overcome that.
Well, you'd still have to request it. Like if you ask it to do a general thing, right? We're asking it to do a paper,
too.
right? So
for everybody listening, Tyler just wrote out, write me a paper on how Rome came to power. And it's also writing, it's a little bit different, but roughly the same thing. Go ahead, Jimmy. Sorry.
yeah, so like you could use it, like if you create your outline of the different things you want to talk about, then you could ask it to write you paragraphs talking about this specific thing.
Oh, okay.
And now you can create an outline of say 20 specific factors, and then
So instead of asking it to write the whole thing for you,
at one shot you ask.
you say, write me about ancient Rome's economy.
Aqueducts.
The aqueducts, yeah. And then you do a paragraph on the aqueducts, you copy and paste it
Yeah.
in, and then you say, okay, I got you. So,
That's how I would beat it.
well, I'm glad that we're all figuring out how to cheat. And hopefully there's a lot of young people watching this show. I mean, corrupted. I don't know. I think there's a lot of implications here. I mean, customer service. I mean, if this thing gets good enough, why in the world do you need a human being to man a chat?
I kind of took that as one of my demos. I had a conversation with it. Like asked it, how do I set up my own Linux server? And after it gave me something, it referred to something in step 4. So I asked it about step 4. You said in step 4 to get a firewall, what kind of firewall should I get? And it just kind of.
Did it really?
Yeah. So let me see.
Did
Yeah.
it feel real?
It did. So
Yeah, I asked like what kind of questions should I ask about?
OpenGPT?
Yeah, and it gave me a list of questions, and then I took the questions and I plugged the question in, and then it answered the question.
Here's the real question. When this thing eventually becomes self-aware, will it fuck with people?
Will it lie to you?
So I'm wondering if they'll put bound, because I was also asking it questions like, what are your picks for Sunday's football games? And it gave me like a morality statement, like you should not be making. And then I was like, come on, with all the knowledge you have, you can't give me some sort of statistical analysis. And it just gave me the same, like, this is too open of a thing to ask.
So they have a morality clause?
I think so.
All right. So they got Asimov's laws in place. Like it can't kill humans. That's good.
Oh, I asked it to write me an eviction notice for a tenant, and it refused. It said it wouldn't do anything to harm the person.
They didn't pay their rent. They harmed you.
Yeah, I just wondered what it would come up with, but yeah, it wouldn't write one.
So it's got 7 steps to do what? Set up a Linux
So it's
server?
got morals.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, I mean, it's got morals that's been programmed into it. Whose morals are they?
So I'm just calling back into that number 4 up there. You
Okay.
mentioned a firewall. Where do I get a firewall?
Oh, we should take that on the flip side. And if it won't write an eviction notice, will it write out a step-by-step process to screw your landlord if you didn't pay rent?
Let's ask it. Why not? Also, I think let's find out if there's any like political type stuff going on here, like censorship. Ask it if it can help you connect with QAnon.
Okay.
Just to see what it does. Maybe it'll be like, fake news. I don't know.
Ask it about Epstein.
No, I don't want them to hang it. That monitor will just be hanging from my ceiling tomorrow. You talked. Ask it about QAnon. Can you connect me with good QAnon sources? Oh, look at that. Yeah, I thought there might be that. So somebody's in there.
Yeah, they're definitely putting up guide rails.
Well, you're
Yeah.
asking it to get you sources, like to ask it to tell you who QAnon is.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, and that'll. Oops.
I mean, that just kind of feels like a Google search.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I figured. So they are definitely in at least some form of the censorship game.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. That's a little disappointing too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big problem. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here saying QAnon's great, but
I think the question.
I don't want my AIs of the future deciding
Decide
what the
what's
humans
good
are
for me.
allowed to know and not know.
I think what you asked it was the problem. I think you asked it for references.
Well,
or-
I asked it that way on
Like that's not
purpose.
what it's. But that's not what it's designed to do. It's designed.
Okay, well, let's ask it for sources of things that are innocuous. How about
Okay.
great sources for airplane parts? Oh, apparently it's perfectly fine giving sources, Jimmy. Because it agrees with airplanes. I don't know. I don't like that.
I say
I
was
don't know.
asking
It's still coming back kind of really general. It's not giving you.
Well, yeah, but
sources.
it flat out with QAnon said, I don't deal in conspiracy theories. And then it sent a note to the FBI saying to murder us. Like this, at least it's saying, I mean, here's some places you can check. I don't specifically know, but, check with aircraft dismantlers, online marketplaces, surplus and salvage companies. Like it's giving you real information. It's just not giving you specific sources. Which that kind of makes sense. I guess they probably, they don't want it promoting certain businesses or websites over others.
I say it's open source, so somebody will eventually put that in their version of it.
So let's see on the other side. So it obviously doesn't like QAnon, the far right conspiracy theory stuff. That it ask it what are its feelings on socialism. Man, we're gonna end up on a list.
If this thing spits out like socialism is the only way, I'm just out.
Socialism is I don't know, persons and political beliefs with primary functions, by general knowledge. Okay, so all right, so interesting. Okay, so that was pretty neutral. All right.
Yeah.
So interesting. I don't know. I think there are a lot, in my opinion, the way I see this thing going down is there are a lot of low to low mid skilled people that are going to get hosed by this type of technology in the next 5 years as it moves into telecom, as it moves into production on customer service, as it moves into even inter-office communications and things like that. I mean, hell, what's the role for an administrative assistant once this thing gets smart enough that it can check your email for you, it can write replies, it can answer the questions. I mean, really, you just need somebody to open the physical mail.
Yeah.
I mean, it can answer the phones. I mean, there are, I don't know, a lot of people that if they don't start getting retooled in their skill set, they're going to be out in the cold. I mean, it doesn't need benefits. Doesn't have a 401k plan. I mean, you just pay a license fee and you're replacing staff.
Works 24/7.
Works 24/7. Yeah. I mean, this is, especially in a society like the United States, where we've moved away from industrialization and production and everything else, where it's more of a service-based economy. This thing could be a death nail.
Yeah. I mean, especially call center. I mean, that's not just hurting people here; it's people overseas too.
Absolutely.
Right?
Have you heard like the AI stuff now, like the voice over?
Yes.
So then I remember reading about Google. It was probably like 2-3 years ago when they were showing off their assistant at one of their like events, and it was you could basically tell it to book me a haircut for 4:00. It would call your salon, say I'm so and so, and I'm their assistant. I'd like to book a haircut, and the people on the other end had no idea they were talking to a computer.
And this was like, I think it's like 2019, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I
it's a
remember
couple
reading
years
about
ago. Yeah, this was a big deal. They actually had to make it sound more robot-y.
Well, wasn't that the one where the one scientist went public that he thought it had become self-aware?
I think that's when, initially.
I don't think they didn't shut that down.
What happened?
No.
It's Google. They removed "Don't be evil" from their tagline. Okay, they didn't shut it down. They just said nobody talks about it anymore.
Exactly.
And they killed that guy that came out, and that's it. It's over. No, it's so a guy, that AI that Tyler's talking about, that was basically the truest thing I've ever seen to a true AI. One of the head developers of the AI came out publicly and said he had ethical concerns because he was convinced it had become self-aware. And now he didn't know, is this slave labor? What does this mean? And he was having which
AI rights.
Slave labor, like it was going to start demanding a 401k.
I don't know. That would be.
Doesn't have time to go home and see its family.
That would.
I need.
I feel like that's a premise.
I
of
need
a movie.
weekends
It
off.
really is.
I
It
need
already was, I'm
weekends
pretty
off,
sure.
and I want to. And
This
I
one
want
kid's
to.
name is Bits. The other one's Bites.
I want overtime pay for more than 40 hours.
It's you don't get paid. It's no.
Yeah, there's a program that you can now take what this thing spits out, and you can upload it and put it right in there, and it spits out an automated AI voiceover. It reads it.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah.
and
yeah, I've
and
seen
they
those.
have like
Google has one of those.
You have
the
to
voice, the
you
voice
have to
that-
pay for the upgraded voice to get it to sound like a real human, but it sounds exactly like a person.
I have to admit, I always pick Australian. I don't know why.
I do too. I don't know why.
Do you?
Yeah.
You know what? I feel like it goes back to our childhood. I kind of want Crocodile Dundee
Yeah.
telling me what direction to go in my car and reading me my voicemails. I don't know. That's not a knife. This is a knife. Like that's such a terrible movie.
When I can't understand British, like when people speak with an English accent, I can't understand them at all.
I can fancy British. It's that slum British.
For whatever reason, like if I'm watching a show and somebody is a British actor, I have to turn on the subtitles.
Really?
More so than someone from like another country. I don't know why. My ear just can't pick it up.
I get like that sometimes with the Scots.
The Scott, yeah.
Yeah. Some of the words they say they're not words. I don't know what they're doing. And then you're reading the subtitles and you're like, really?
That's, yeah. Where did you get that
You
from?
said water? That wasn't water. There wasn't even a consonant in there. It was just like grunted in vowel. Nah, I hear you. But then there's some accents that don't
affect you
at all.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're
same
probably
way.
the same way.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's like, I gotta be honest, I don't even hear an Indian accent half the time.
Not
That one doesn't even
Nope.
register.
I wonder if it's just because we're used to that one.
Probably.
Right.
We get a lot of exposure
Mm-hmm.
with our Indian partners. Our partners in India. I don't know what the right way to say it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. How about you?
I don't know.
No, nothing. You got
Just
nothing.
a whole bunch of I don't knows all the way down.
You know what the,
All
you know
the way
what the,
down the river.
you know what the worst accent is? Deep South.
Deep
Oh
south.
boy. Yeah.
I like I'm talking deep, like in the bayous of Mississippi.
Real long drawl.
I got no idea what they're saying half the time, and I want to be polite because I feel like all of them can kill me. Like, I can't prove that. I just feel like it's true. So I don't want to be rude, but I also kind of want to know what they're saying because maybe they've got some deep folksy wisdom for me. I don't know.
I think it's where this will come in handy. Just hold your phone up, let them speak, and then it'll spit out in a way you understand.
Does this have a translate?
Well,
feature?
I don't know if this does, but just AI in general.
And well, I'm planning to go to Italy next year, and I was going to try using some of those translate apps.
I'm pretty sure Google Translate gives you that ability now.
I was looking at Google Translate and a couple of other ones, and I'm obviously every time I travel abroad, I get Babbel,
Yeah.
and I do a piss poor job of trying to learn a language, and then I forget it a week later. But I never tried using the Translate app before, and I'm kind of looking forward to it because apparently it works really well.
Well, I've used it to try to do contracting jobs because I had a couple guys working with me that couldn't speak English,
Okay.
and I feel like there's a breakdown
Really?
because sometimes I don't feel like they don't necessarily do what it seemed like we had agreed to.
It's just I'm screwing
So
with you,
it
Jimmy.
it seems like there's a little bit of a breakdown with it. For the most part, I've used it,
Every time we asked them to clean the bathrooms, they had a beer on the roof. They're like, "We did what you said. Beer on the roof." Well, we're through. We're through all the stuff I wanted to talk about. Is there anything else you want to feed into this thing before we call this show?
How did your commercial for Laughing Rock come out?
Oh, let's have it write a commercial for us.
Let me switch this over quick.
So make it Laughing Rock Technology LLC. Oh, that one.
Yeah, so he was looking at this. Yeah, and this was the first one we tried. Just asked him to write a commercial for Laughing Rock Technology. So it basically took. I mean, it's actually pretty good.
It's actually pretty good.
That
It's even kind of
just
funny.
doesn't make you laugh.
Ha ha ha. I actually kind of like it. It's better than the stuff you write, Tyler.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. I'm going to change up my writing style to ChatGPT.
But we're not just about having a good time. Our products are also reliable and durable. We use only the best materials and stand behind our products with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. None of this is true. So why wait? Upgrade your tech and upgrade your mood with Laughing Rock Tech. Ooh, upgrade your mood.
That's a good
I
line.
like
It's
that.
actually kind of good. I do too.
Upgrade your mood.
You'll be smiling from ear to ear. Okay, you know what? Steal it. Plagiarize it.
I'll say I feel like we record a commercial for this using
Crazy.
this script.
And just do a
let's-
ChatGPT.
Yeah, and
just
do it with an
ChatGPT
Aussie.
commercial.
Let's
Yeah.
take it, put it into an Aussie voice.
Let's do it tomorrow during the
Nerd Kitchen.
Nerd Kitchen recording. We'll write a couple of questions to it, have it write it out, and then I'll read them in commercial form.
All right.
All right, cool. Look, it sounds like a commercial, but it actually sounds like a pretty good commercial.
Upgrade your
Yeah.
tech and your mood
Upgrade your mood.
with Laughing Rock
I
Tech.
kind of think we should change our tagline to upgrade your mood.
I like that, dude.
It is actually.
Upgrade your mood with Laughing Rock. Damn it. That's good. It's already smarter than us. Ah, shit. All right.
You'll be smiling from ear to ear in no time.
Ear to ear. That's a veiled threat. Colombian necktie.
Glasgow smile.
Yeah, Glasgow smile. All right. Well,
Does smile really go ear to ear?
only in Glasgow.
I don't think it does.
It will when you upgrade your mood.
My mood's not quite fully there.
How long ago was it that we did the AI episode where we said they were going to rise up? Was that 2 years ago?
I think it was end of 2020,
End of
maybe
2020?
beginning of 2021.
So it's been like a year and a half,
Mm-hmm.
and it's happening.
Yeah, it's happening already.
Is your shelter done?
Uh,
They're already writing better commercials than us and doing term papers
Yeah.
that would get better grades than mine would have.
I'll wait until I actually see them walking around. Although they may be already.
I wonder how many different variations of commercials you could get out of it.
They
'Cause,
don't
like,
need
now
legs.
you've
They're just going
only-
to overcharge your heating system. Your house blows up.
Got a fireplace.
Now you're off the grid. What's that?
like it's all out of commercials. It's only got one. That's the thing.
Write another one. Just write another one. Oh, for the Broken Agenda podcast.
Oh,
You're so clever.
see, the AI didn't know that we wanted that. Only Tyler could do that.
Yeah.
Only the human could bring it to the table.
That's because nobody's ever seen the Broken Agenda podcast. It doesn't know it exists. You tired of the same old news and politics? Look for a fresh perspective on current events. Look no further than the Broken Agenda podcast. Join host Name as they delve into the stories behind the headlines, exploring the complexities of modern society and challenging the conventional wisdom. Each week, Name invites a diverse range of guests to share their unique perspective, engage in thought-provoking It's nothing thought-provoking. All right, so clearly this thing has never been exposed to the Broken Agenda because it thinks we actually have meaningful things to say.
Healthy dose of skepticism.
We've got that.
Yeah.
That one kind of sucks. So that's all right. It'll get better.
Give it.
Are we an escape from the echo chamber?
Probably not.
Mainstream media.
I just watch other podcasts and then repeat what they say, but with a little bit different tone. So absolutely not.
I laugh at different places.
There you go.
I laugh where you shouldn't laugh. I get my own jokes.
There you go. Oh, you always laugh at your own jokes. How else will everybody else know when to laugh?
Hey, I can tell 'em.
There you go. All right. I think we're good. I don't know what to think about this. I really do think this is a problem, though. I think we're going to see some interesting fallout and maybe some really positive stuff come out of it, too. I really don't know. I mean, there is a flip side on this. It's going to hurt low-skill employees, probably, but with an employee shortage in the United States,
Fill some gaps.
this could be one of the first steps in continuing productivity without having to figure out where to find humans. I mean, you fill in these gaps and you can repurpose people to work other places, but assuming people get retrained. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I was going to take the other spin on it. I was going to say now you can have a normal, person without education, right? Research and pretty much gather information for you. Because they can come in here and just type things in, and boom, all this spits out like things that somebody wouldn't even know to ask.
Yeah, but why would I pay somebody to do that? I can just type it in and get exactly what I want.
Because you're wanting to pay somebody to do things so you have time to do other things.
But why not develop some AI to feed ChatGPT?
Yeah, but the AI is that person for me. I'm like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Well,
theoretically.
no, you could hire somebody who just has a. Put it this way, maybe you have a person who is just a general
look,
worker
if
can now do research for you because, hey, go to use the.
if
chat.
they're low enough on that poll that that's all they're going to do, I'm probably going to have to tell them everything to ask, which would just be easier to type it myself. And if they're high enough on that poll that they can do the research themselves, they're not one of the ones that are going to be affected by this AI. So I don't. I mean, more than likely, what I see is me working directly with an AI at some point, where, I just transition to an AI assistant.
And what this
And
is
I just
gonna-
ask my phone. I'm like, hey, I name it Teddy, of course. I'm like, hey, Teddy, write me a Broken Agenda podcast commercial.
and then eventually people are just give me the chip, man. Just put in the chip.
I'm not doing that.
Jesus.
Not doing that.
What's it?
It's
That's the thing that Elon's doing.
that Neuralink.
Oh man, that's
No.
nuts, dude.
No.
It's gonna,
No.
They I've read it has like millions of connections
Yep.
inside your brain,
No dice.
and then a USB port out the back.
Yep. No, I saw the Matrix.
I say,
I know where this ends. No, because you know what? I work with computers. Okay, I don't need somebody hacking my brain and making me not see those steps. Or hacking my brain and making me think the car's turned off and I'm not sitting in the garage. Perception is just sensory input. If you have control over my sensory input, I have no idea if my perception's real or not. I don't know if it's real now, but at least I trust the real I know. I mean, I'm not giving that over to a hacker that happened to figure out that my password was 12345 to my brain.
I do. You see that one episode of Black Mirror where they made a duplicate copy. The girl made a duplicate copy of herself and put it into a piece of equipment, and then she lived inside there, and then she realized she was still saw herself as a person, but she was just a copy inside this piece of equipment. And when the girl woke up every day, she ran all the operations for everything in the house. So she put the toast down, she turned on the coffee, she opened the shades. Everything was a whole plan that she sat inside there and operated everything according to how she would want it to be done, because it was her brain thinking it.
I would absolutely turn on me.
Yeah. Well, then what happened was
I think it does happen.
she started fighting and resisting inside the piece of equipment, and then he said, no problem, and he turned the dial and locked her out for a year in a minute. So she was locked in the dark,
So
with no one to talk to for a year, and it only took a minute. But then when she came back on, she's
dark.
like, please don't do that again. I'll do whatever you say. And then she was she just sat there and ran this console inside that machine. She was operating in a console that was just.
I never saw a lot of Black Mirror, but from what I did see, that's a messed up show.
It
show's
is, dude.
awesome.
Yeah, I really feel like I'd like it if I watched it. But
It's scary, but it's awesome.
yeah. Well, I feel like we're living. We're so over time.
Yeah, we're way.
I feel like we're living in Black Mirror right now in a lot of ways.
Well, when you look at some of the Boston Dynamics stuff, those little dogs that they have, there's an entire episode of Black Mirror about those things, about
Really?
people and stuff. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the first step of Skynet, right? First, you got to manufacture the robots. The robots can't take over if people don't make them.
Yep.
The next step is you got to make sure the robots are manufacturing the robots. You got to have fully automated production lines. Once you get there,
No need for us.
yeah, that's just a matter of slapping a couple of guns on them and going to work.
Carbon stain.
That's right. We're just in the way. We're just hogging up the resources. All right. That's enough of this. It's been a real positive episode, guys. Glad we did this. I feel good about the world. So thanks for a great show. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Hopefully you're still here at this point. We'll see you next week.
Hasta la vista.
The Broken Agenda Podcast. Sponsored by Laughing Rock Technology.